Um, Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. I also rise in support of the motion raised by the Honourable Member, Mr. Shri Arden Miller Basayomait. The menace of drugs that we have seen, and especially which I have experienced in my own constituency, non-strain, the sharpened increasing of the drugs addicts in the recent years, which I have seen, which I have known more than 500 of them, which I have met and I have contacted with them. And I don't know what will happen in the next few years. The number will keep on increasing. We have seen the police department and the administration, they have tried the level best in taking the culprit, the seller and the drug addicts. But as my co-member has said, there is no law that prevent them of not doing it again. So, in my opinions, what I have seen is that the causes of drug addiction is mostly lack of an awareness that we need to take up by the state governments, lack of parental supervisions, which we need also not only to keep an awareness to the addict or to the students, but also to the parent as well. The curiosity of the youths today are so much strong that they just want to taste what is the drugs, what is the meaning of the word drugs, and what happens if I consume the drugs. So this curiosity leads them to take more and more drugs, and they become addicted. And another problems which I've seen is the unemployment, lack of unemployment in the states, which have led them to the drugs addicts. Many of the youths are unemployed. They are educated but remain unemployed. So this is the darkest part of most of our youths today, which leads them to take drugs and other anti-element activities. And the insecurity among them, and also the unstable family that we have in most of our states due to the poor section of the people. As per Niti Ayog, we have seen that in our states, that's all 52% of our people are remaining poor, and the rest 50% are in a middle section. So, like being poor in the family, this is also another trends that leads to the drug addicts of most of our youth. Depression and others, this is also another factor, the key factor that leads them to the causes of drug addictions. And this drug addicts, it's not a menace only to the family, but it's also to menace to the society. We have seen this harmony in the family, the stealing which happen within the family. Once there's a drug addict, I've seen in my own place, in my own constituency, he starts stealing from the whole family till the entire family left with nothing. Even the whole utensil was sold off by the son who was drug addict. Now, it is increasing crime rates, as my other members have said, and various social evils which arise through this. The economic income of those families. Some of them have become in debt by the family. The family member broke, converted a person to be stealing, and leads even to corruptions and selling of its own properties. This is happening a lot, which we have seen. And another factor is also it causes self-harm, which increase the rate of suicide, depression, anxieties, and feeling of loneliness by those drug addicts. They feel hopeless, low self-esteem. They feel guilt and shame to be in a part of the society. And that's why they keep on increasing. More and more members are joining, which had taken them at the extreme step of more youths are taking drugs. And this also has got a health factor. The medical issue has been so much expensive as of today. What will happen to our poor families who have been a drug addict within the family? We have seen the drug addict have faced several of health complications: depression, insomnia, paranoia, and so on, which leads to failure and so on. Now, at the same time, with the injections that they are doing, which leads to HIV and AIDS and various transmitted diseases. Now, what are the parameters that the government are doing? Some of the things that I would like to suggest. The ground inspections, some of the need to ground inspections in each and every area of our state, in a locality, even train or give an awareness to the headman and the executive member of the locality. It is very important. The parenting counseling that also need to be taken care of. The constant checking. The police, at the same time, constant checking of those people who are taking the drugs and also drug seller. Constant checking whether these people are still keep on doing the same work. The extensive awareness program that the government needs to be done. Some of the corrective measures that we need to have is like what my colleague has said, is referring to a rehab centers, most of them. And most of the rehab centers are not affordable to the poor section of the people. The counseling, medications, and other physical activities required for the drugs addicts. So my humble request is that the government needs to take care of this and take preventive measures to all. And at the same time, I would request to have a vocational skill training even for the drug addicts, so that they will keep entertained and less in thinking about the drugs. And lastly, what I'd like to request the governments, to avoid all this, if we can have the employment opportunities for this drug, for youths, so that we can be free of this drugs addicts. As the government is having the DREAM project, an initiative aimed at achieving drug-free Meghalaya. I suppose through this DREAM project, which the government is having, they could inculcate and thought more of what could be done to prevent the drug addicts and this menace which had hampered our state in these recent years. With these few words, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I would resume my seat.